Algebra 1, today's lesson is actually about the y-intercept, but we're going to start reviewing our slope and doing the worksheet over that. If you look at this first graph, I want to know, is it positive, negative, zero, or undefined slope? This line goes down to the right, so that means that it is negative slope. If we were going to actually find the slope, remember we learned that it's rise over run. You got to find two good points, okay? Here's two good points. We're going to go up and over. This is my rise. This is my run. My rise was 1, 2, 3, 4. My run was 2. So my slope is 4 over 2, but that reduces to 2. This is a vertical line. Anytime you have a vertical line, your slope is undefined. This is a horizontal line. Anytime you have a horizontal line, your slope is 0. This line goes up to the right, so I know that it is positive. Actually, I want to go back and look at another picture. This one we said was negative, and I found my slope of 2, but I forgot to include the negative. This is actually a negative 2 on this one at the beginning. Okay, this is a positive slope. We're going to have a rise and a run. This is my rise. This is my run. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the run. So it is 4 over 6 because you put the rise over the run. This will reduce to 2 over 3. If they give you points, you're going to use your calculator. Remember that you subtract the y's on top and you subtract the x's on bottom. Remember that a point is given x comma y, and you must use the same point for your first y and your first x. So if I subtract the y's on top, that's negative 1 minus 6, because there's my first y, there's my second y. On the bottom, it would be 2 minus 5, because there's my first x and there's my second x. Using your calculator, negative 1 minus 6 is a negative 7. 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. We have a negative in the top and the bottom, so they cancel each other out, and your slope is 7 over 3. Remember, we want the slope to be a fraction, so don't worry about changing it to a decimal. That's your answer. So you're going to subtract your y's on top, so 5 minus 0, and your x's on bottom, negative 3 minus 8. 5 minus 0 is 5. Negative 3 minus 8 is negative 11. I don't like a negative in the bottom. Either put it in front of the whole thing or in the top. So negative 5 over 11 is my slope. Subtract your y's on the top. So 4 minus 8. Your x is on the bottom. 2 minus 6. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. It all cancels out, but it leaves me 1. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 in your calculator would be 1. Subtract your y's on top. 5 minus 5. Your x is on bottom. 3 minus 8. 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Use your calculator if you're not sure. 0 divided by negative 5 is 0. That right there should tell me that it is a horizontal line. Okay, a new thing. When you have an equation, you can find the slope. If y is by itself, which in this instance it is, okay, but y has to be by itself, your slope is the number with x. Don't include x, it's just the number with it. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned, we represent slope with the letter m. So m equals means the slope is, the number with x is that 3. So your slope is 3. All there is to it. We would have to get y by itself here, so we would divide everything by 3. Y is equal to 4 minus 3x. Your slope is what is with the x, so m is equal to negative 3. X equals 6. There is no number with the x. We've got to think about this. If I had a graph and I have x equals 6, it's got to cross my x-axis at 6. What kind of line is it? Vertical. Tell me about the slope of a vertical line. It's undefined. Y equal 8. Once again, there's no number with x. So think about it. This is my y-axis. It has to cross it at 8. It's going to be a horizontal line. What is your slope? 0. Okay, going back to an earlier problem, we also had to learn about the y-intercept today. And your y-intercept is going to be the number by itself in an equation. What you're talking about with y-intercept is where that line crosses the y-axis. Okay? It's the constant. In this instance, it's -7. We represent y-intercept with the b. So your b is equal to a -7 here. This one, it's the constant. So b is equal to 4. This one, we looked at it, it's a vertical line. There is no b. Okay, there's no y-intercept because it never touches the y-axis. This one, b is equal to 8. By the way, this should have been m was equal to 0. Okay, so let's look at this graph. We want to know what the m is, and we want to know what the b is. B is your y-intercept. It's easiest to find. It's where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, here's your point. So what is your b? -3. Then to get your slope, you've got to do your rise over run. You got to find 2 good points, okay? Sometimes it's not that easy. A good point is one that crosses right where those lines cross each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4 is my run. So my slope is 5/4. Y-intercept is -3. Y-intercept on this one is right down here, so that's -4. Your slope for this one, got to go find another good point right here. My rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over, my run is 1, so 5/1 is equal to 5. I have a slope of 5. My y-intercept, where does it cross the y-axis? Right here at -4. My slope, this is a horizontal line. We know the slope is 0 for horizontal lines. My y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, -4. My slope is rise over run. Find 2 good points. Make your triangle. We went up 1 and over 5. So 1/5 is my slope. Remember, you got to put it rise over run. Y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is 4. You got to find 2 good points. There we go. We have 1 down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Remember, your rise has to go on top, so that's 4/1, which is 4. Y-intercept, where's it cross the y-axis? Right here. That's going to be at 0. Your slope, you got to find 2 good points. Make your triangle. We have 1 there, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Your rise has to go on top, so it's 1/4. This takes you to your assignment on y-intercept. Okay, you also have some slope questions on there. If you have any questions, come see me during speed.